Top stories for this half hour. We are going to give you updates on exactly what's happening with Hurricane Gustav. Really affecting Louisiana, is moving into south central areas of inland and bringing some heavy amounts of rain and strong winds. But for southern Ontario, southern Quebec, high pressure continues. And as we're getting southwesterly winds, it's very warm. And the opposite, you'll need your coat and your umbrella. We're dealing with this intense low pressure system that's bringing steady rain for Manitoba and areas of northwestern Ontario. But behind it, we're getting those cooler temperatures. Thank you for joining us here at the Weather Network. I'm Sangita Patel. So let's talk about what's happening with Hurricane Gustav. It is moving into the south central area of Louisiana, and it's going to move towards west New Louisiana. We could see the amounts of rain. We are seeing up to 250 to 300 millimeters of rain to come down, and that's going to be a flooding concern. We can see storm surges going up to 3 to 4 meters. That's about 10 to 14 feet high, and the levees are still not fully developed since Hurricane Katrina from 3 years ago. It's only up to 3 meters, so that's a major concern. We're also dealing with tornado warnings in place, and that's because of the outflow of Gustav affecting areas of Mississippi, Alabama, and also for Florida. And again, we could see some severe thunderstorms to develop, and again, tornado warnings are in place. So it's very active, and again, it's again a Category 2, not a Category 3 when it did hit Louisiana, but still a major concern. And the biggest part of this was the fact that people are been evacuated since Sunday morning when they were forced to leave. About 2 million people left. It's probably the biggest evacuation in U.S. history. The roads are clear. There's not people staying in the area. There's about 10,000 people still in New Orleans, mostly volunteers, and the police officers are still in place to taking care of the area. Again, strong winds are in place and the amounts of rain. Stay tuned for weather news. I'll definitely give you more updates on exactly what's happening with Hurricane Gustav. Now, as I mentioned, there's this low pressure system affecting Manitoba and northwestern Ontario, especially around the interlakes. We are going to see another 20 to 40 millimeters of rain to fall by the evening period. Behind that low, we're going to see another 20 to 40 millimeters of rain. So yes, it's going to be unsettled for the next few days, and we're dealing with heavy amounts of rain. Along that cold front, we could see some cells develop into severe limits, so we could see risk of thunderstorms. And if you do see active weather, definitely give us a call. We'd love to hear what's happening in your area. Pretty widespread in terms of what's happening with that cold front and the warm sector in place too. We could see risk of thunderstorms developing right into northwestern Ontario, affecting Dryden, also Sioux Lookout. So the big story really is behind that cold front, we could see the temperatures decreasing really for the prairies and also for northwestern Ontario as it moves on. As of now, we're dealing with that cold front bringing some active weather really around Gladstone and Oak Point along Highway 6. We're seeing steady rain in areas of Dauphin and affecting areas of Brandon. So again, that low pressure system moving to the east, and we'll definitely keep you posted on the warnings and watches that are in place. In terms of what's happening in the east, we're dealing with this cutoff low, and that's been in place for the last few days, and that's bringing chances along that trough, some non-severe isolated thunderstorms to develop, affecting Cape Breton Island and also for areas Port aux Basques for Newfoundland, and also for shores of Nova Scotia. We could still see some unsettled weather, but most likely we're seeing some showers really developing for the Maritimes and for Newfoundland. So which cutoff low am I talking about? Is this low pressure system that's in place, and it's been there for a few days. For southern Ontario, southern Quebec, high pressure continues, southwesterly winds, absolutely beautiful, still feeling like summer. Dealing with that low pressure system, as I mentioned, there is an occlusion, and along that occlusion, we're going to still see some showers developing for southern Saskatchewan and for Alberta. Temperatures are cool for Alberta. Edmonton woke up to -2 this morning. Yeah, that gives you an idea how cold it's getting. Fall is definitely coming into place. We're seeing some cloud cover developing for areas of British Columbia. Could see some showers to the north coast overall. So the real big story is this low pressure system, and it's really intensifying in terms of the amounts of rain. And again, we can see some heavy downpours and also chances of thunderstorms to develop. Time for a long-range forecast. We're dealing with that cold front that's in place really for the Maritimes and for Newfoundland. That's going to continue for the next few days, but could see some clearing for New Brunswick. High pressure continues for southern Ontario, southern Quebec, dealing with this low pressure system that's going to start moving towards northwestern Ontario. Temperatures will start dropping for Manitoba, but Saskatchewan and Alberta will continue to see some cooler temperature as high pressure is in place. You can see the jet stream is sitting pretty low, so that's bringing some northerly winds right into the prairies. Dealing with a low pressure system, and along that low pressure system there is a trough that's going to bring some showers to the north and central coast, affecting Queen Charlotte's and Terrace. And overall, South Coast is not looking too bad in the overnight period, but we could see some showers sinking down as that trough moves down. We could see some showers developing overall. Looking okay in terms of precipitation for Alberta and Saskatchewan, but again, temperatures are slightly cool. Dealing with that low pressure system, still bringing some showers for Manitoba. Again, I said about 20 to 40 millimeters can develop right into the evening on Tuesday. But big story again is that the temperatures will start cooling down. High pressure continues for southern Ontario, southern Quebec. Slight clearing for New Brunswick, Nova Scotia. We'll see some fog developing the pre-dawn hours. That will continue for Wednesday, and high pressure will start moving towards in the northeast, but looking very nice for Ontario.